Nuclear and biological warfare. It has the capability to destroy lives at never-before-seen rates, and the only solution is to eradicate them altogether. Good morning. My name is Michael Kern, and these are my colleagues.
Sophia Rodriguez,
Michelle Bruce,
and Tyler Everett. As you can see here, the diagram from the Union of Concerned Scientists shows the middle of a nuclear warhead. Nuclear warheads react through fission. Fission is the process in which a neutron divides and doubles at rapid speeds. Fission has two requirements to take place. One, an abundance of heat, which starts the exothermic reaction. And two, plenty of fissionable material, which may be either plutonium-239 or an isotope of uranium, as there are many. Biological weapons work differently than nuclear weapons, however. Instead of having a huge explosion that destroys everything in its radius, biological weapons are viruses like this one or bacteria like this that can be released into the air, fog, water, or any other substance and can travel and infect people, animals, and planets. As you can see here, this is San Francisco. In 1950, there was a biological weapon test. Scientists wanted to see if fog could hold a bacteria. They tested a supposedly harmless bacteria that couldn't affect humans in any way, but it led to some detrimental consequences and a couple of deaths. A huge reason our group decided in the abolishment of biological and nuclear weapons are the health factors. One, if you don't explode from a nuclear blast, it can lead to skin damage and skin burns. And with a biological weapon, they can spread disease like wildfire. In 1950 in Connecticut, there was an atomic weapon test, and in nearby areas, during the test, there was an almost 40% increase in cancer, as you can see. And then after testing had concluded, there was a 20% drop-off, showing the direct connection between atomic weapon radiation and cancer. Although it doesn't guarantee you the fact that radiation causes cancer, but it definitely increases your chances. So, with these health factors, why would countries even have these weapons? Well, it is to keep supposed world peace. The world powers of the world have nuclear weapons. Russia, as you see, has over 7,000, and so does the United States. It's to keep other countries in check, and it's like a, hey, I won't nuke you if you don't nuke me kind of relationship, which is really messed up. These weapons may keep world peace, but not for a peaceful reason. Shelley?
biological and nuclear weapons also impact the environment. This senseless fighting between mankind in an attempt to destroy each other actually destroys its own planet. These agents have been speculated or proven to be used as weapons in the past recent years. Whether or not the weapons are stable in water is listed here. If a chemical reaction occurs in the water, gamma radiation is released, thus contaminating the water, leading to severe side effects for both animals and humans, such as Tyler mentioned earlier, with radiation sickness, cancer, or even death. Another direct impact biological and nuclear weapons have on the environment is how they are positively correlated with the number of natural disasters and the damage caused by those natural disasters. This graph depicts the amount of natural disasters as well as the damage caused by those natural disasters by the year 1950 to the year 2012. The red bars indicate the climate-related natural disasters, as the blue line indicates the damage caused by those natural disasters. As testing and use of the biological and nuclear weapons increases, so do the amount of natural disasters and the damage caused by them. As weapons create climate change through radiation and pollution, the damage and number of natural disasters each year increase.
The detailed history of biological weapons is limited as the first occurrences do not have enough evidence. As we can see in the picture, the earliest known example took place in present-day Crimea in the city of Kaffa. Gabriel de Mussi, a Genovese chronicle, reported that the Mongols attempted to control the area, but as a form of defense, used Yersinia pestis, an organism that causes plague. As Michelle previously stated, that biological radiation can cause death. The Crimeans soon retreated in 1346, and the rest is history. If you direct your attention to the board, in order to eliminate the use of biological weapons, Al Jazeera and Vanessa Choi from the United Nations Office of Disarmament Affairs passed a law with the Biological Weapons Convention banning the use of nuclear weapons in 1975. Nuclear weapons have been an ongoing topic found in discussion if they are a truly valid use of defense. The United States has prompted the use of nuclear weapons only once against the forces in Japan. On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped a bomb on Hiroshima, killing more than 140,000 people. 3 days later, a plutonium bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, killing 74,000 people. 7 months later, the United Nations decided to form a commission against the use of these nuclear weapons. According to Arya Bendix from the Atlantic Monthly in her article published on July 8, 2017, 122 nations have passed the historic treaty banning the use of nuclear weapons. Countries that were absent during these negotiations include the United States, Russia, North Korea, and Israel, as these are all countries that possess nuclear weapons, which really begs the question if these devices are truly ethical.
Thanks to Tyler, we can now see the destructive power that these nuclear and biological weapons can cause. But why does that matter, and how does that affect us? Well, when analyzing the socio-cultural lens, we can see the effects on human nature. The socio-cultural lens is defined as a set of circumstances and how those circumstances can affect an individual. So the circumstances around these individuals is the constant threat of nuclear and biological warfare breaking out at any time. This affects the individuals because it has them living in a constant state of fear. And when they're living in a constant state of fear, it's going to hinder their ability to be beneficial in society. This is just one view, though. The other view sees nuclear and biological warfare as a positive. As you can see in this political graph, or in this political cartoon, you see two armies shooting arrows at each other, and on their nuclear bombs it says, "Oh, on no account to be used because of the enemy might retaliate." This is seen as nuclear weapons being a deterrent or as a source of defense. The other source that can make nuclear and biological warfare a positive is the same technology can be used as medical purposes or for cures to diseases. The ethics behind nuclear and biological warfare, though, is almost a unanimous decision, with almost 100% of people agreeing that the warfare is morally wrong. So a better question to ask is if using nuclear and biological technology such as deterrence and medical purposes, if that makes it okay. But when you bring all the information together, it is confirmed that most people agree nuclear and biological warfare is wrong. Kelsey Davenport in the Arms Control Association says, seeking to prevent the nuclear weapon ranks from expanding further, the United States and other like-minded states negotiated the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty in 1968 and the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty in 1996. This is evidence enough that states are realizing the destructive power of these nuclear and biological weapons, and that steps are being taken in the right direction to eliminate them completely. The only problem with this is that countries aren't usually willing to give up the technology they've spent so much money to create. But to create peace between citizens and countries, it's the only way. Thank you.
Take a step back. It's like extreme close-up. All right, here we go. Some questions again. I'm just going to go from right to left. So Shelley, we'll start to you. Reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that your group identified?
I think that Tyler really most closely related to my topic, so it kind of helped me expand my knowledge over the environmental impacts, because his example of how the gamma radiation affects organisms also plays into an environmental factor of how it can be contaminated into water and then affect the organisms in that way.
Okay, thank you. Fine. Mr. Kern, what is a way in which your team's resolution makes you think differently about your own individual research?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. What is a way in which your team's resolution makes you think differently about your own research?
Well, when we decided that the solution would be to eradicate nuclear weapons altogether, it made me realize the socio-cultural lens, how it would affect certain cultures and societies, and how that would be both a positive and a negative. So looking at Tyler's lens, he showed me the destructive capabilities of these nuclear and biological weapons. So with him giving me that information, I can see the destructive power that it really could have on different cultures around the world.
All right, thank you. So, in what way did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of this project?
Okay, so even when Michael was sick, we still met at Valencia. We met at Valencia even after their football practices. Even if Michael was sick, we all still like attempted to make an effort and work together as we needed to get this work done.
Okay, thank you. And Tyler,
Yes, sir.
having finished your project, what, if anything, do you consider to be a gap in your team's research that, if addressed, would make you feel more confident about your conclusion?
Well, I feel like we should have had a stronger counterpoint and saying how much money is put into these weapons, and I could explain that more. And because we have a counterpoint, but it's not as strong as it could be. We could show the other sides of it and how it really does benefit the world in other places.
Okay, great job.
Thank you.